I felt pressurized to get my degree. Agree or disagree?
Ah!
Remember?
Oh, wow, I'm the only one.
Got it. Got it.
Okay, so I'm the only one who
You're the odd one
disagreed.
out, yeah.
I'd say disagree because obviously pressurized banale parents so I think I've always been sort of a high achiever, so I knew that I always wanted to go to university anyways. And when I did go into university, I had a very hard time. It was a lot harder than I thought. Emotionally, I was unstable. Academically, I thought I couldn't do it. So I called my dad, Papa, I don't think I'm not coping so well. Literally breaking down to him. This was 3 months into my first year of university. I thought he would be so mad, saying, waste all this time, all this money, like Hamro, reputation. I thought that's the backlash I was gonna get. He was so nice. He said, Irmina, if it's not for you, then don't do it. Don't force yourself. You don't have to go into uni. You can do whatever else you want in life. And that's when I realized, oh, it's not about, I'm not doing it for my parents. I'm doing it, they're telling me to do it for myself rather than do it for them. And that just gave me such a push to John finish off my degree. Yeah. So I think after that moment, I realized that my parents would have been happy for me to do whatever as long as I was happy and successful. And that's without a degree. It could have been.
That's a fact. Such a good story.
Thank you, Papa.
When I say I felt pressurized to get my degree, yes, I did. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? That was a good thing. I'm glad I got pressurized because otherwise I probably would have messed up my life. I'll elaborate later, but I'll let you guys. I share the same view as Dinesh. I felt pressurized to get my degree as well. But where it has led me today has been the best decision that I have taken, and which I thank my parents and anyone who has convinced me to do it.
Same. I think I was the Nepali society kind of conditions you to go to university. Yeah? It's just something that's kind of fed into you, like primary school, secondary school, college, and then uni. That's just the norm, but it shouldn't be. But then yeah, I mean, it was a great decision in the end of the day. If I wasn't conditioned, would I have gone? I don't think so. But because it's just the norm in Nepalese society, and it's kind of also seen as a stigma, I was like, okay, no, I have to complete it. Because if I didn't, then we've seen, which we'll get onto later, the negative side of it, of not studying. Not saying it's bad, but I think the society kind of takes it as a really negative stigma. And in a sense, a little bit of a taboo if you don't go and get a degree. It shouldn't be the case, but it is.
So for me, I think pressurized is a bit of a strong word for me, but it was implicit, and I do think it was some sort of pressure in that it was always expected, and so no other alternative routes were presented to me. Now, I can say, as a result, I'm still happy. I don't think that pressure was a bad thing, like Dinesh says. However, what I can't say is whether my life would have been better or worse, because I don't know that. I could have done something else which would have been just as good or better. You never know. But all I can say is I am thankful and I'm happy where I am. University, they are a very efficient way to filter out candidates and not for work. Because I think university brings a certain qualities in you, and for companies it makes them really easy to filter more suitable candidates in some scenarios, but in others, you have to do university for certain careers, like architecture, medicine, and you have to have that background. However, I do think there are some unconventional methods to learn as well. So it depends really on what career you want. Luckily for me, the pressure was there, but I think the choice that I wanted in my career was always aligned with that, so it never really felt like a pressure. But I know that if I were to choose not to go to university, I know I would have faced some struggles.
Well, education is important at the end of the day, and I think the reason I'd get pressurized into going to university is because my parents wanted me to, because they didn't go to university. And I probably want my kids to do something more better than university. I don't know, PhD or whatever. Because at the end of the day, education is important. I think. Only.
Oh no! You just reminded me of Carl Jung, who says, "The biggest burden of a child is to fulfill their parents' unfulfilled dreams," or something like that, or unfulfilled life. Yeah.
That's a good thing, isn't it? Or is that?
Yeah, I'm not saying.
It can go either way.
It depends, doesn't it, what the unfulfilled dream was.
The child doesn't want to, do a
the child is completely
PhD,
different?
and they're happy enough.
Oh no, I mean, I could still go and do a PhD if I wanted to, but I'm just saying I might want my kid to do better than me. Like, I think.
Yeah.
It's not, I might want to. I will want to. I think.
Yeah.
It's not bad to strive for better.
I think I see getting a degree as like a benchmark.
Okay.
Because when we look at the degree, it's not just about education. So when you go to uni, it's kind of like, I think I'm like learning that after 5 or 6 years, you start to realize it was not just about the
education.
Degree. It was about living alone, how to cope with like how to talk to strangers, how to, because the very idea of just going to the stepping out from the house and living alone is. That's the biggest, okay?
Rite of passage.
Rite of passage.
It's life experience.
Yeah, it's a life experience, and then I think every child who wants to do it, and then they should be encouraged. But of course, by saying that, there are like apprentice scheme or something like that. So you don't necessarily have to go. But I think in the long run, I think it will benefit.
Yeah,
like you say, it will also set the path straight to the wherever you want to end up. So you always have that fallback position wherever you end up, that you have X amount of degree or X knowledge. And
but don't you think we're saying that from a very privileged background as well, in the sense that our parents, yes, they were immigrants and we're first generations, but we have a really good support from our families for financially. Because I remember I met some people in uni where some people were there in fashion and they had to take the second year out to be able to financially be in a more stable position, because they didn't have family to support them. Yes, they had financial aid from the government, but still, sometimes it only covers the maintenance loan, will only cover the rent. So they had to take a year out to work full time, make some money, and then go back there. So for us, we're coming from a privileged background and saying we want that because we can provide that. But for some family who can't provide it, it's very hard for them.
I mean, my parents didn't help me with finance. I pretty much worked full time in the evenings. During, full time company I financed it like that.
Yeah, I think you need to have a tenacity.
It's about,
you can't
it's about
do
having
it
the
all.
grit and having the mentality.
So in a way, union goer पनि त्यस्तो गर्नु
It shows you that,
because union goer, so to be able to survive in uni, you have to work on it. So it's working in tandem. Okay, it's hand in hand.
मलाई युनिभर्सिटीमा ठुलो कुरा के सिक्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think it built my character a lot because I was involved in different societies and stuff, and that was a key part for me. Academically, I was a mediocre kind of student. I didn't work really hard. I should have, thinking back now, because I've got this passion for learning now. And I got a 2-2 at university, and all the graduate schemes and everything else, and it requires a 2-1. So I was not even eligible to apply for the role I'm doing right now. Okay, that's just words on paper. Okay, you just be consistent. You have to have the grit. On it, you will do it. And it is a door opener for most people, I think. Okay, if you don't want to go to university, that's fine. If you don't want to feel under the pressurized stigma, that's fine. Have that grit, do something else, and follow that.
Yeah.
Where do we think the stigma of not studying came in our society? What do you think about that?
I think it's what Dina said. It's about you want better for your children. So when you don't have a degree, you're kind of being just the same, and they don't want you to live the same life as what they live.
So what advice, imagine if we were giving advice to those parents who, university or the traditional way of studying is not for every single individual. And it takes a lot. Some people just learn better, practically or visually. And then I feel like sometimes Nepalese parents don't get that. They don't understand learning difficulties, their own and different ways of education. So one's that, two, one's that. So what kind of advice would you tell those parents trying to help them for those children?
I think
so if the children are saying more like the traditional career pathway than nobody. So imagine like doctor, engineer. I don't want to do that. I want to do something a bit different.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we need to.
How do we tackle that? How would someone tackle that?
I think we need to have a paradigm shift there in that. What is the most important thing in our lives now? Is it that we can be very rich, or is it that we can lead a more meaningful, purposeful life? If it's the latter, then it has to be something that people can should be able to choose for themselves. And sometimes that means people would want to go a very different route. It may be like creatives and art, music, and they can obviously lead you to a rich life as well. But that doesn't necessarily align with like going to university.
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
So I think we need to get that into the mentality of Hamro society now that it's not all about money and stuff. I think none of us would argue against education. I think everyone would be for that. I guess it's more about whether university is the only way to get that. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think?
No, I think
university don't 100% work.
Practically speaking, I think it's easier to earn money if you have a degree. Because I've just seen people that didn't go to university and they just find it harder to pinpoint sort of concentration on something. Maybe, eventually, they'll land into something that they want to do. But if you want to be earning money instantaneously, I think you have to have a degree.
But don't you think that's a separate point? Because someone might join university wanting to earn lots of money, and they might just like pass all the exams, but not necessarily actually be interested in the subject itself. And so that I think is a separate point from like everyone should want to learn.
But he might be learning he might be learning other things at the same time, not just that specific. He might be taking exam for the role he won't be doing in like 10 or 20 years, but in the bigger background, he might be learning, like other skills. When I say is like how to interact,
soft skills.
Yeah, but I don't think uni is the only way of getting those soft skills. There's other ways of getting that. Because I know. So why are we saying we have to go to uni? I'm confused.
Why are we saying we have to go to uni?
Yeah, I mean saying that you would rather, because I think, like you say, what you just said was, does that mean you're saying uni is the quickest pathway to make more money?
I think it's an easier option to be able to get a job.
I don't think so. I think uni just gives you the skills, but if you can't apply those skills in the real world, you won't. Because there's so many people I know who's got a degree who can't land a job. So what do you say? Because they can't apply those skills into the real world.
Sorry, but in that scenario, would those people find it any easier if they hadn't gone to uni?
I don't think so they would have.
Yeah, so
that's on themselves. That's what I'm saying. Uni is not giving you the skills to get a job. Uni is giving you a set of skills, which should help. But then if you don't have it within yourself, you just don't have it within yourself. I think
uni improves your chances. It's not about guaranteeing.
There we go.
But you have to have that plan, I guess.
Yeah.
But having said that, uni also is not the only way. That you can follow your passion. I think there are many different ways.
Yes.
And education, I think for me, it's not just about like career. I think we should want to get educated anyway, just to learn about
it. So I was talking to a friend, and I was talking to them about education is going to be one of the topics, and this friend had a very strong opinion. So I'm just trying to bring some controversial issues here.
No, that's fine.
So this friend said he believes in, like what you said, he believes in whatever we do. I mean, whatever our parents are, we should be one step better or improvement. So of course, Hamro parents, I'm back in Dinako, they didn't go to uni, So he quite strongly said, therefore all of us should go to uni, because if we're not going to uni, we're not being that one step better. Or for an example, what he used was that the people that and you get the British Army Tanzania, he doesn't think that is a step better than the parents. I think he thinks it's just kind of a waste for their parents. Quote, they wasted their parents' sacrifice coming into the Western world in the UK to give them that extra opportunity, because they've gone through that struggle, everything. You get my own, you get my boss need to provide for them life, but all they did was like, I mean, go you, do one you. What do you guys think? Because I think it's kind of relates to this topic. So
I see where they're coming from, and I see why they're saying it, because technically, or like on paper, yes, you've not exceeded whatever your dad has achieved in their life. So that's a tick. He's right in saying that. But also, going back to my point about creativeness, maybe they're not just capable enough to find something else.
Exactly.
अनि के भन्छ त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि आर्मीमा गयो, career आर्मीमै गर्यो भने हैन, it's bad to look down on them. किनभने आर्मीले पनि opportunity दिन्छ, धेरैलाई दिएको छ हैन, because at the end of the day you need the reward हैन. Development पनि छ नि त आर्मीमा पनि, त्यो डेभलप हुँदै गयो भने रिपोर्ट पनि बढ्दै जान्छ नि त हैन. So it's fine. अनि I mean, I don't know, you might outrank your father. That's true. That's then ticking off the box. There you go. That's what I think of that.
Yeah. What your friend said was kind of, to me it seems very unhealthy to have that kind of mentality. I mean, of course you should strive for some sort of excellence, and you should have goals and milestones.
People are definitely battle, or there's something out there for them to fit into. I don't think we should push them, or parents should push them against what they are.
It's like you have to try to mold them.
No, I think the education system isn't for everybody. I think it is in a way flawed. It makes you think in a way that your teachers want you to think. Like somebody might have a circular vision, but that teacher is telling you to have a square vision. And then every child has the same sort of vision, whereas that's why there's loads of people who are now homeschooled, or the parents teach the kids themselves. They take them to museums or this the more variation when they saw. So I don't think it's for everybody. Some people want to be singers, and who knows, they might be a famous pop star one day and be way more successful than somebody who had a degree. So I still say, personally for me, I was not pressurized, but I think initially I was. But then they saw me a downfall and they thought, okay, Bichara, she cannot go to uni if she doesn't want to. But I still did it! Yay!
I agree. I felt pressurized to get my degree, but I think that those were for very good reasons. Of course, there are other alternative routes, but not having explored that, and then choosing this path, I think it has been beneficial for me.
I still agree, because I think it put me in the right place. Yes, I might not enjoy it. I mean, this is an example, but yes, I might not enjoy it, but have that grit. And you don't learn that from university. You learn that away from university, but you can put use at university, after university. That's what I would say. But I still agree.
I think, I still agree in the fact that I was pressurized, but I think that was in the beginning, and after you get to uni and you start enjoying the degree that you're learning, I think after that it kind of just fell into place. You just enjoy it, you kind of get why you're doing what you're doing, and then, that kind of shows because I'm still in the same field that I studied in, so in that aspect, I would say I wasn't, so kind of 50-50, but I do think we need to change the stigma of the expectation in education within our society, because there's more to it than just a university.
I still agree with it as well.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed our episode. Please like, share and subscribe. Do you think degree is important?